So let's jump right into this Airbnb summer release 2024.
Well, that's a preview of the next 10 years.
And let's see what is new with Airbnb. Some awesome stuff regarding messaging that I really want to go over. So make sure you stick around to the end. And as always, guys, please like and subscribe.
Wait for it. Here it comes. Almost there.
So here we are, guys, right on the Airbnb website where they are introducing a category called icons. This is one of the biggest layouts here, one of the biggest changes of Airbnb this year. And these are actually just magnificent places that were designed by Airbnb or partnering with Airbnb. This isn't something you're going to get your listing on unless you spend an absolute fortune. But basically, they have all these different designs. So let's check out some of these icons. So they have design an incredible super suit as an experience. They have Crash, the X-Men mansion. They have stay at Pink's.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Stay at Prince's Purple Rain House. They have Go VIP with Kevin Hart. They have the Drift Off in the Up House. They have the Barbie Malibu Dream House. They also have Stay in the Last Blockbuster on Earth, which is kind of cool, guys.
Oh my God! Wow!
So definitely check those out. But as always, guys, what I would say to you is this really goes to show that Airbnb is still focusing on making sure your listing is unique. They want unique stuff in their listings. They want to promote unique experiences. They want to promote unique listings. Oh my gods, lakefronts, tree houses, things of that nature. But even if you don't have any of those features, like none of mine are those as well, make sure you're doing some eccentric stuff in your listing. Do some bold feature walls. Do some creative stuff for your patio areas and your fire pits, or maybe put a little mini golf course. Do something that really stands out. This is what Airbnb has been focusing on the last couple of years. So I'd highly recommend you make sure your listings are up to snuff. But anyways, guys, I want to get into the changes really related to what's for the hosts. And so for that, we will pop over to here to the summer release for host information. And we've got some new message updates. That's what I really want to focus on in this video. Very important, these updates. We got a redesigned messaging tab. They've redesigned the insights tab so you can see your earnings. They're going to do interactive charts. Okay, then they've also done know more about who you're hosting. So they're going to update some profile information, which is pretty good. And guys, you can enroll in early access to these features if you want. I actually already have enrolled in the messaging. So we're going to go check that out and see what it is. See what there is to see there. As always, guys, this to me is the most important update, is the messages update. And we're going to go over that right now.
Nice.
So anyways, the messages tab. Okay, so when you're in the messages tab, they're kind of combining everyone into one. And what I mean by everyone is, I mean everyone on the trip. So all the hosts, the co-hosts, the booking guests, and all the guests. So everyone who's staying in that trip who has an Airbnb profile is going to automatically be brought onto that message. We're going to go over what that really means for you as a host, and it really is going to affect your communication a lot. So make sure you are effectively communicating. You guys can check out a video that I have. Just click on the link right up there if you want to check out the video I have on top 5 ways to communicate with guests. I believe all of them will still apply to this new structure, but here we go. So going down, they're doing a little new design. They're doing group messaging with guests, which we just talked about. They're doing AI suggested quick replies. So this is going to be an interesting one. So actually AI will suggest quick replies to messages for guests. This should certainly help guests communicate with guests. However, I'd be very careful to use those AI messages without edits, because like I said, you may come off as robotic. You may come off as AI.
No!
And honestly, guys, you want to have a personal touch with your messages. You don't really want to come off as a robot or someone who doesn't care about their guests and is just blandly responding to what their concerns are or what their questions are. So I'd be careful with the AI suggested messages. I so far have not used any of those since I've enrolled in early access. I usually have my own set of messages that I'm very comfortable with, so I've just been using those. Okay, you're allowed to do emoji reactions, and then here we're going to go into the nuts and bolts of a lot of the big questions that people have, and we're going to kind of walk through this. So, can I send a message just to the booking guest? The answer to that is no. You can no longer send just a message to the guest who booked the property. Again, it's going to include their entire group, so that's going to be very important moving forward. How many people can join the conversation? Everyone. So if your place holds 20 people, you could have as many as 20 people in the conversation. We're going to kind of go over what that means for you as a host and the best ways to communicate around that. Okay. Can the whole group see the reservation details? Yes, they can. This will actually be a pretty good feature. So now it'll make it a lot easier for the guest to disseminate information. Let's say there's 3 or 4 groups of people who are arriving at your Airbnb at different times, especially if you cater to large groups. This happens all the time. They no longer have to deal with the logistics of sharing all the check-in information with the other guests. So therefore, the other guests are going to see all your check-in instructions, your profile, your check-in codes, or lock and key situation. So it should make it a lot easier for the guests. I actually really like that. Can I remove a guest from a conversation if they didn't book the reservation? No. So you cannot remove anyone. Okay. The only thing you could do is report guests if they are being rude or disrespectful or saying inappropriate things, which you could do that already. But right now you obviously can only report the person who submitted the booking because that's the only person you're speaking with. So you'll still be able to report people, but you will not be able to remove someone, okay, from the conversation. So how do the AI suggested quick replies work? AI will recognize certain topics and messages from guests and your quick replies. It will automatically suggest which quick reply could answer the question. So this feature actually becomes more powerful as you put in more quick replies into the Airbnb system. So if you create more and more quick replies for different questions you may get as a host, this feature will become more and more powerful for you. Okay. How do we archive old messages? At the end of trips, you could archive messages to keep your inbox organized. And can all guests who join a trip leave me a review? This is very important. I know a lot of hosts had this question. This was one of my first questions when I heard about this. And the answer is no. So still only the booking guest is leaving your review, but we are going to touch on that a little bit because I think it's still important to remember the current situation that all the guests are seeing the messaging. Who can I review as the host of a group? You could leave the review for the booking guest, but your review will show up on the profile of every guest who joined that reservation. Again, super important. That one I love. I absolutely love. This is going to save Airbnb hosts a lot of headaches. It's very important to be honest in your reviews, if now more than ever. So anyways, guys, here we go. Let's go over the fact that all the guests are in the conversation and what that really means for you as a host. So the fact that you're communicating with all the guests in the group, you need to be very careful and particular about what you say and who you say it to and how you're saying it. And you need to remember that other guests in the group may start sending you issues, comments, concerns, complaints, grievances, or questions, and they are not the actual booking guest. So you're going to have to answer those appropriately. And what I think this really means for the host is all the guests are going to get to see how well you behave as a host, how well you treat them as a host. And I think this could actually really hurt certain hosts if it's done improperly, or it could really help certain hosts who do it well. So again, guys, if you are communicating properly with your guests and they feel like you're taking care of them and they feel like you care about them, then all the guests are going to get that experience, and it's going to lead to better reviews because they are going to be telling the guest who booked it, hey, this was a great host. This was a great host. Leave a good review. However, on the contrary, if you're not responding in a timely fashion, if your responses are a little bit short or a little bit robotic, hence be careful with the AI.
Okay.
Where they don't feel like you really care about them as a group, the other people in the group may actually be pushing the guest who booked to leave you a bad review, at least in the communication category, but maybe across the board. So it's more important now than ever. It's more important, the absolutely most important time to make sure your communication is on point. If you struggle with communication or with responding in a timely fashion, I would recommend you check out Guesty. There is a link below in the description of this video. That's what I use to do a lot of my automated messages. The software is absolutely awesome. It is cumbersome to set up, but once it's set up, it runs perfectly. So definitely would recommend checking that out. All right, so the last thing I really want to talk about is what is going to happen when you review a guest now. So again, your review is only really getting attached to the guest who booked the property. However, the review will be visible on all the guests who are in the reservation. Okay, so I know that there is a lot of hosts out there who get a little bit nervous to leave a bad review because they're scared maybe the guests will retaliate, maybe it'll cause friction. However, now is the time more than ever. As a host, you need to be 100% honest in your reviews. Okay, remember the guests cannot see your review until after the review period is up or until they have already left you a review. So being honest in your review never really hurts you. And the most important thing is you want the guest, you want as a host to make sure you're protecting all other hosts now. Now's the time. Now's the time. Because remember, there's a lot of people who show up and they're not on the reservation and they trash a place and then they go sign up for Airbnb and they go book another place and they trash another place and so on and so forth. And the cycle continues. The best thing about this is now your review will show up on all the guests who join that reservation, which means if someone trashes your place, you could let future hosts know not only about the guest who booked, but about all the other guests in that reservation to be careful and be wary. This is going to be a great feature to protect hosts and protect their property. I love that Airbnb added this.
Thanks. Love you. Forever.
And like I said, 99.9% of the time, my guests are phenomenal guys. I rarely leave a bad review, but there are those situations where guests just do something that is very inappropriate, very damaging to the property, or they just completely disregard the rules of the property. And if that is the case, you should be leaving that review that says that. And I think that is the key takeaway here. That is the best feature about this new messaging and this new group messaging feature. And I absolutely love this. I'm excited to implement it. That is why I signed up for early access to it. And I recommend you sign up for early access to it as well, so you can get used to using it. So guys, that is my breakdown of the Airbnb 2024 summer release. Let me know what you guys think of this release. I'm excited to see these icons. I'm excited for the new messaging. Those are the two big things that I took away from this. And I'm excited to get out there and go blow my places up. Got to put some more unique stuff in them to make sure we're staying up to date with all the different changes that are going on with Airbnb. Anyways, guys, hope you love the video. Leave a comment below. Let me know what your thoughts are on the new summer release, and I'll see you next time.